Thanks for clicking on to the tropical outlook for the early hours of Friday, the 5th of July. If you're joining me here in the UK, it is around midnight or just after 12:30 to be exact. If you're joining me from the east coast of the United States, it is just gone 5:30 p.m. and then around 4:30 p.m. if you're joining me from the Midwest. So we are continuing to monitor what is now Category 2, 110 mile per hour Hurricane Beryl. It is now making its final approach on the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. It done its work on Jamaica. It produced tropical storm conditions over the Cayman Islands as well, but it is undergoing the most hostile environment of its life cycle so far. The system has seen quite a significant weakening and displacement of the system itself. The inner core is kind of generally trying to regenerate, actually, and I think that the reasons for this may be that it is now starting to see the wind shear over the Western Caribbean kind of weaken somewhat, and that is likely to be the case as it moves into the western Gulf of Mexico over the course of the weekend. But it needs to get across the Yucatan Peninsula first. How much further disruption to the core does that have will remain to be seen. But the system itself has been undergoing 30-40 knot southwesterly wind shear over the last 12 to 24 hours, and that has allowed the system to drop in intensity from Cat 4 to Cat 2. But the inner core, like I say, is actually trying to regenerate once again. You can see here this IR imagery shows kind of the blow up, a flare up of renewed deep convection, cold cloud tops, and there is a little bit of an attempt at trying to wrap that deep convection around what appears to be a decaying eye. We've seen it fill over the last several hours due to that strong wind shear coming in from a southwesterly direction. The outflow has been generally getting pushed to the northeastwards. You can see here some of these thunderstorms blowing up well to the northeast of the center of circulation here. Notice here we've got some thunderstorms erupting over the interior of the Yucatan as well. But generally, through the course of tonight, we will see this system moving onshore somewhere to the south of Cozumel here. So I would expect to see in excess of 100 miles an hour winds, storm surge, heavy rainfall moving through during the overnight period tonight and into tomorrow morning. Exactly where the system moves onshore will determine how long it stays over land, but I would expect to see further weakening back to a tropical storm by the time it re-emerges over the western Gulf of Mexico. You know, generally it's about 18 to 24 hours or thereabouts spending over the Yucatan before it re-emerges into the western Gulf of Mexico, and then it'll be all eyes on the upper Mexico east coast and South Texas in terms of a final landfall. But this is the latest from the National Hurricane Center here. You can see that the system moves onshore to the east coast of the Yucatan. Hurricane warning, should I say, sorry, are in effect from the northeast coast down to the Belize border here. System then weakens to a tropical storm, then re-emerges over the 29 Celsius waters. One thing I want to say is that it looks as if we're going to have low dry air content within the atmosphere, and also the shear is going to drop off. We've had a tut or an upper tropospheric trough to the north of the system that has been generally allowing the continued weakening of the system as it pulled away from the south shore of Jamaica. But what is happening is this tut is then weakening. We're going to start to see a more favourable environment for Beryl over the western Gulf of Mexico. The question is how much weakening, how much disruption to the core do we see on its crossing of the Yucatan? If it has some form of holding its own as it crosses over the landmass, then with low shear, less in the way of dry air, and 29 Celsius waters, deep waters at that, there is a possibility that this could become a fairly robust Category 1 hurricane once again before making a final landfall somewhere, like I say, in the upper Mexico East Coast or the south coast of Texas here. So we'll need to watch this as we go into the early portions of this next week. So we'll watch this space as we go forward here. But this is a short and sweet video tonight, or early hours of Friday morning. I will be back between 5 and 5:30 later today with a European outlook. So I hope you can join me for that. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you later with the European outlook. Bye for now.